Okay, cool. Looks like we are recording. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Taylor Kirk, and I am first and foremost a physical therapist. I have been practicing for over 3 years now. I graduated in May of 2020 and just hit the ground running right in the midst of COVID. Over the past month or so that I have ventured out on my own as an entrepreneur, starting my own PT marketing business. I really just kind of had some time to process like my journey and like what's brought me here. And I guess my hope today is to share with you guys like a little bit about me and like what I feel like brought me here, some of the highs and the lows, and like share my story so that like if there's somebody listening that is stuck where I was or just needing some inspiration, like I want to be that for that person. So essentially, like I'm gonna take this time today to just like share with you guys where I started, where I went, and then now where I'm at today. And so I guess first and foremost, like let's talk a little bit about my background. So like I said, I'm a physical therapist, and at this very point in time, I'm no longer treating. But before that, I was a treating physical therapist in various settings. I experienced home health physical therapy. I treated in an outpatient ortho clinic, inpatient and swing bed settings in the hospital. And then like more recently, towards the end of my treating career, I really started becoming interested in public health physical therapy and got the opportunity to take continuing education and get certified, essentially just like dive into that specialty of our profession. You know, I think that really gave me an appreciation for the specialty that public health physical therapy is, and then like some of the barriers of like how I want to say this, other than like some of the barriers that come with like the taboo topics and like stuff that's really hard for people to talk about. So that's kind of where I started at to really like break it down. When I came out of PT school, like I said, we were in the midst of COVID, and I went directly into like a private practice outpatient physical therapy clinic that was fast paced. We were double booked. We were seeing so many patients a day. And you know, like I had spent a lot of time at this clinic prior, like shadowing and working as a physical therapy tech. And you know, I had thought like, this is my dream. Like this is where I want to work. This is what I want to be. I was so excited to like hit the ground running, even though COVID was just an unknown thing for everyone. I mean, that wasn't really scary because I was just so excited to get started. You know, I had spent 7 years going to school, working towards this degree, and had felt really proud of it. You know, I knew from the time I was 15 I wanted to do physical therapy, and the fact that I accomplished that goal was just so huge. And so here I am, June of 2020, bright-eyed and just totally green in my clinical practice, but so excited to get started. And I would say that within that first year of staying at that job, like, you know, we talked in PT school about what burnout felt like. I didn't think that was something that, you know, I'm a positive person, very upbeat, happy most of the time. You know, everyone has their low moments, but like I thought that I would be able to, you know, deal with the stresses of the busy day-to-day outpatient world, and burnout wasn't really going to happen to me. And within that first year, I would say like my mental health just tanked. Like I said, I was seeing way too many patients, providing poor quality care because I didn't have time. I had so much documentation. I was taking it home at night. So like my work didn't stop when I left work, which more than likely a lot of you that are physical therapists are going to resonate with this. You're going to understand that, you know, this isn't uncommon. I started looking for something that provided me with more flexibility. And so I landed in a home health position, which I had started working PRN during my first year of clinical practice, and it kind of turned into like a full-time position. So I left my first job at that outpatient ortho clinic, had started seeing a counselor, had started taking antidepressant, anti-anxiety medications, like just at the lowest of the low. And so I was really excited to start this home health job, just have the flexibility to set my schedule, treat one-on-one for an hour, that kind of stuff, which is really important to me. Provide the best quality patient care that I can. When I took that home health position, I was told one thing as far as my travel radius. And then my travel radius was number one, abused. And so like I was spending way more time driving than I was actually treating. And with the company I worked for, you didn't get paid for your time while you were driving to somebody's house to go treat them. You were paid mileage, but that doesn't necessarily make up for the time that you're in the car, you know. And if I'm expected to see X amount amount of patients a day, if they're all within a 5-mile radius, that's super simple to get done. But when they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, like as far as an hour and a half away, it makes it really, really challenging. So anyway, so I kind of was struggling with the home health position and felt like I didn't have as much support as I thought I was going to, and like I was on my own, but that's fine, whatever. And it just so happened that like one of my clinical instructors that I'd had in PT school reached out to me and said that they were hiring at the facility that I had done a student rotation at. And honestly, when I had graduated PT school, if the opportunity to work at this specific clinic was available, like I would have taken it in a heartbeat, simply because like I loved my clinical rotation there so much. And it was good. I would say like it definitely aligned more with my like treatment values and like providing great quality patient care, one-on-one treatment sessions. Documentation was point of sale, so it was completed during the time you were with the patient, but still you had that time to physically be and like focus on your patient. I really, really liked it. And I would say like I started there in September of 2021. Yeah. 2021, and I worked just about my first full year there, and my husband decided that he was going to take a job that required him to travel, okay? And we were thinking about starting a family and like all that stuff, and so I was like, okay, well, if he's going to be gone 50% of the time, I can't be working from 6 to 6, even though it's better quality patient care, documentation's not as stressful, all of that good jazz. I can't be working 6 to 6 if he's gone half the time and I want to have a family and he wants to have a family. I essentially was just like trying to figure out something else to do. It's really, really challenging to explain. But long story short is I took some time and really thought about what I wanted to do. And I knew that I really loved pelvic health physical therapy. But I also knew that I had a non-compete. And the really fun thing about this non-compete was even once I terminated my employment with this company, I had to wait 2 full years to start a practice within a 30-mile radius of where I was at. And if anybody else is familiar with a non-compete, or if you're bound by one of those, I feel your pain, because they are definitely very challenging and frustrating. And, I was really hoping that like my company in itself would just like understand like it was a life change situation and it was necessary, and it wasn't because I was upset with anyone. It was just something I needed to do for me and my family that was best for us. And that's not really how it ended up going. So, I was like, okay, well then I'll start a women's wellness business. And rather than focusing anything on physical therapy, it was not at all physical therapy. I was planning to use this women's wellness business platform and create a program/course that essentially encompassed like all dimensions of wellness for the female individual, with like the specialty of pregnancy and postpartum. I was told by my company I was violating my non-compete and could not do that because I had chosen a specialty, a specialty niche of physical therapy. So women's health or pelvic health physical therapy. That was just really frustrating because I'm like, okay, I'm not practicing, I'm not treating patients, I'm not even going to be like working with people one-on-one on exercises. I'm just providing them this program and course that educates them on the different dimensions of wellness that are specific to pregnancy and postpartum, and then how they can essentially implement these things into their lives. So it's not like I'm providing physical therapy service. So I would say like that was probably kind of the turning point for me, because I realized that corporate healthcare businesses don't necessarily see us as somebody that they want the best for. They see us as a cog in the wheel of whatever their big picture is for that business. And this isn't true for every single physical therapy practice or company, but like the ones I had experienced, that's definitely what I was experiencing. Was I was a cog in the wheel, and I was supposed to essentially just do what I was told and don't do what I was told not to do. And that was very frustrating for me because I am very independent. As terrible as I am at making decisions, like I want the ability to have control over my life and my successes and my career and all of that. And so that really just kind of, again, set me at the lowest of the low. And in like the meantime, when I was thinking about starting this women's wellness business, I had hired a business coach named Morgan. And if anybody else knows Morgan Meese, she's awesome. She's a wonderful business coach. She also does digital marketing services. She's a physical therapist as well. So like it was perfect. And, I remember sitting on a Zoom call with her and just like telling her what had happened at work and telling her that essentially I wasn't going to be able to do my own women's wellness business, and just like ugly crying in front of her. And it was a bad time. And, I think like throughout that process of trying to start my own business, I was learning so many things. Like to start a business, there are so many different points of like importance that you have to be able to fully understand. Like as a solo business owner, you wear all of the hats of your business. You wear the marketing piece, if you're a physical therapist, the treatment piece. You wear the client management, the finances, the strategies and systems, like all of that, like that's you. And so like when I was learning how to start my own business, although not physical therapy, like I was still learning the foundations of business 101, and that also included marketing. So like I was learning how to do website design, I was learning how to create content, write copy, just all sorts of things in the marketing realm that like I had never really done before, like specifically for myself, but like I had done in the past somewhat, not business related, all throughout high school, like participating in journalism class and competition for journalism. So like it was really interesting because I'm like, oh yeah, like I kind of understand how to do some of this stuff. Like copywriting is really easy for me. Like I love it. I digress. The point is like I remember sitting in that meeting with Morgan and just like crying and being upset, and she was like, like you do really well with like marketing and graphic design and writing, and she was like, I kind of need help because I'm really busy. Do you think that you would be interested in helping me? Of course, I like jumped on that opportunity because I was like, absolutely, like I need some direction, and if I can learn from one of the best, like I absolutely want to. Over the past, that was in November of last year, I think, November of 2022. Over the past almost year now, I have been working directly under Morgan as her marketing assistant, and then at the same time, like building my own marketing business, because that's ultimately what she wants for me, is to have my own marketing business for physical therapy practices. And so that's what I've been doing. I remember when I was in high school and like my journalism teacher had encouraged me to at least minor in journalism or communications or something. And, people were like, oh, you'll never make money writing. You'll never make money like creating, like that kind of stuff. And I mean, that was in like 2013. And I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they had no idea the boom that the digital world was going to make. I don't regret like becoming a physical therapist. I love my profession and I hope to practice soon again. Like that is my goal, is to practice again. But like I also want to grow this marketing business and like essentially give back to physical therapy small businesses like in a different capacity other than just like patient care. I think like the really important thing is that marketing it's the same foundation across the board. It doesn't matter what business you have. It's just that you have to know how to tailor that marketing strategy to whatever your business is. So I think that's what like I saw that opportunity of. I really, really loved pelvic health physical therapy, as well as I saw the barriers of like awareness of what it is, that it exists, that it's available, the taboo topics that are hard for people to talk about. So I saw that gap, and I saw that gap that I could fill with providing marketing services to pelvic health practices, essentially to like increase awareness, knock down those barriers of these are too uncomfy topics to talk about. And so that's kind of like where I saw myself, and I was like thinking like, what can I do as far as marketing like that could essentially accelerate me into like a whole different field of business, but at the same time still stay in touch with my physical therapy side, and especially my pelvic health physical therapy side. That's kind of like where everything kind of morphed. And so that's what I'm doing. Like throughout this process, I've absolutely like second guessed myself and had the imposter syndrome feeling like I'm not good enough to do this, or I didn't go to school for this, so how would I ever think that I can help a physical therapy practice market their business to patients? Like, but it's crazy because I do know a lot. I've learned so much in the last year, and I really attribute so much of it to Morgan, and she has been just a lifesaver. I think like encouraging me throughout this whole process to believe in myself, believe in, my skills, my abilities, set goals, and like really go for them. Over the past like year, I've spent, I don't even know, countless hours doing marketing for the clients that Morgan has acquired for her marketing services. She's kind of the forefront of things, and I'm the back end. So I take care of like all the content marketing, like anything that you could think of content marketing. I help with topic ideas, I help with product development, like just all sorts of things that she has allowed me to do that has taught me so much. because it's been very hands-on. Like I'm the one doing it. And so I think like I landed my first big client June of this year. A speech therapist in Rockwell, Texas that was starting her own practice asked me to build her a website. And so I built my first full website, you know, start to finish, and like she loved it. And you know, I think I was just so excited that somebody loved my work and that somebody thought that it was like good and it was functional, and she felt like it really spoke her like values and was going to be able to represent her practice well and what she wanted it to represent. And I think like that was like huge for me. Not only did I make my first, you know, real money for my business, but also somebody was happy with the product that I created. I also like am involved in meetings with Morgan's clients and that kind of stuff sometimes. And I met one of her clients that's a physical therapist in New Hampshire, and she told me that she was just so grateful that I was a physical therapist too, and that when I created her content and did marketing for her, that I was able to speak the same language as what she would speak to her patients. And she said like it is so valuable to have another fellow physical therapist creating your content, writing your copy, speaking to the patients that you're trying to speak to, because I already know what that's like. I already know what it's like to speak to patients. I already know what it's like to educate somebody and encourage somebody from like the therapist to patient standpoint, that relationship. And I don't know, I think like that, again, was one of the like the pivotal moments of like, okay, like maybe I do know what I'm talking about. It's just been such a big journey. And like at the end of the day, like I don't regret any of the negative experiences that I've had. I wouldn't change them like at all, because I feel like it has helped me to grow and really like become like a better overall professional and person. And I've had to go through obstacles that I felt like were terrible at the time, but looking back, they taught me so much. And so like I guess like that's my goal like with sharing this story is, one, to tell you like why I started my PT marketing business, but two, like if you're in the shoes that I was in when I was a treating physical therapist, you know, if it was like the busy outpatient ortho clinic that you feel like you're so burnt out, or you don't feel like you have support, or you're stuck in a non-compete because your company seems to think that your single person self is just gonna like completely take all of their money, even though that's not gonna happen. You know, like I feel you, and you know, I hope that like my story inspires you to take a leap of faith and either learn something that like you've never had to learn before, or recognize a passion that like you have and just run with it. You know, even if it's not in the capacity that you envision for yourself. Like I envisioned myself providing women's wellness services, and that's not what happened. But I am providing marketing services for PT practices and for pelvic health physical therapy practices. So like my passion for that is still fulfilled, because I'm still within that realm of what I love. If any of you have questions, or if you need help navigating how to start that, or how to get the courage to quit your job, or get the courage to, I don't even know, start a business or whatever it is, like I'm absolutely here for you. And at the end of the day, you can do anything that you set your mind to. And let me tell you that YouTube is just full of information, and it wants to share it with you. So you can learn so much on the internet. I'm really, really glad like where I am now, and I just felt like I wanted to speak the truth to like what exactly brought me to where I am today. Again, all the things that I've been through, all the things that I've experienced have just really helped me to grow as a person, and I wouldn't change them. And so again, if you guys have questions, or if you, whether it's about my services or how I got started, or help getting started as far as like starting a business, like I can definitely point you in the right direction. You can check out my website. It's www.taydanielle.com, TAYDanielle.com. That's my middle name. I also have an Instagram. You can follow me. My handle is @taydaniellecreative. And if you're looking for marketing services, or if you're like super tired of having to do all of your content for your practice, or you're not really sure where to start, or you're stuck and not getting any patients, or whatever it is, like I can help you with that as well. I can help you spread that awareness to your patients through marketing tactics, or I can educate you on how to do it yourself. I guess thanks so much for watching, and I hope that this again has resonated with somebody, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.